On News Live at 6, a new space for esports students opened up on campus. Why another one? We'll have more details in a few.
And an Arctic freeze is heading to Syracuse, what that means for your weekend.
And the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority held a State of the Airport this morning at the On Center. Some new plans behind me here for their goals and hopes in the upcoming years. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Welcome into a snowy News Live at 6. I'm Jackson Breslin.
And I'm Elizabeth Gottlieb. Thanks for joining us.
New at 6 tonight, today Syracuse University unveiled their new esports auditorium and production control room. The new space is bringing varsity competition and academic programming together. The university says this is a, quote, state-of-the-art space that blends elite gameplay and production capabilities, end quote.
The space is being used for students in the Esports Communication and Management program. The program has 3 tracks: Esports Business and Management, Communications, and Media Design.
Well, in just under an hour, the Community Folk Art Center will be hosting the Tony International Live Jazz Concert. The event starts at 7 and features multiple performances. There will also be spoken word poetry with house band SMX Sean Seals. Tickets are $20 for general admission.
An extreme cold warning has been issued for central New York this upcoming weekend. Starting Saturday morning, an Arctic air mass will make its way into the region and will cause dangerously low temperatures.
Yeah, Elizabeth, wind chills are predicted to drop 25 to 30 degrees below zero. These temperatures are likely to continue into Sunday evening. And tonight, Syracuse is expected to get 1 to 3 inches of snow. And Elizabeth, we were doing so well. We got all the way up to 30 degrees. I feel like that's got to count for something.
And I'm sweating a little bit in my puffer coat.
Yeah.
I was like, this is summer. We're here.
And now it's right back down, and I'm not ready to once again feel like my fingers going numb every time I walk outside.
Yes.
But for what we're knowing for the next couple hours and what we're going into tonight, we're going to send it over to our weather anchor, Mia Carr. Mia, what's it looking like?
Well, I totally agree with you guys, Jackson and Elizabeth, about how it is just so cold outside, and I am so glad to be coming at you guys from inside of the studio instead of outside, because right now it's 25 degrees and we've got some snow going on with a little bit of wind, but nothing too crazy. But it is just going to keep on getting colder and colder tonight, with later this evening it getting down to 20 degrees, and it's just going to continue dropping right into that polar freeze like you guys mentioned earlier. As for the rest of the region, it's pretty similar to what we've got going on in Syracuse with the 25 degrees. However, it's a little bit warmer in Elmira and a little bit colder in Oswego, but all over pretty similar. And like I said, I'm just glad to be inside right now because it is getting pretty cold out there.
Thanks, Mia. But tonight kicks off the world premiere of a new play at Syracuse Stage. The production is called Relentless and centers on a boxer and her coach. Ray Binstock, the playwright of Relentless, says she took inspiration from her time spent in boxing gyms in New York City to create the story. The play will run at Syracuse Stage until February 22nd.
An all-you-can-eat Mongolian stir-fry and sushi restaurant is opening this month. The Royal Stir-Fry and Sushi Buffet is replacing the former Buffalo Wild Wings in the Marketplace Shopping Center that closed back in 2017. This restaurant is by the same team that operates Aloha Crab in Destiny, USA. Construction to convert the restaurant has been taking place since last spring, with the restaurant set for a soft opening on February 17th. And a new Vietnamese coffee shop is opening on East Water Street.
Our Fiona McHugh has more on what makes the coffee shop unique.
Toi Trang opened Syracuse's first Vietnamese restaurant over 20 years ago. Now, he and his daughters Annie and Amy are opening a new coffee shop on East Water Street.
We try to bring the flavor of the Vietnamese coffee and the sandwich, the Vietnamese sandwich, we call banh mi.
Trang's coffee is uniquely brewed, but the pot is infused with memories of his father and Vietnam.
Once in a while, my dad would have time and take me to a coffee shop, his favorite coffee shop, and we sit there and we share our coffee, and I just sit there and listen to him talk, give me, some advice or, to
Opening on February 17th, this coffee shop isn't just about filling physical cups. It's also about filling the cup of community, serving positivity and togetherness.
we just want to send out the positive message. I mean, the idea between me and my daughters, we just want to send out a positive message to the younger generation. Every day they coming in, they can, have a cup of coffee, not just to energize their day, but they can look at the quote on the wall. I got another quote on the back wall, and they can just to make them feel good about themselves before they walk out.
Wake Up Vietnamese Coffee and Sandwich continues a father's legacy, creating an environment of strength and positivity to pass on to the next generation. For Citrus TV News, I'm Fiona McHugh.
Thank you, Fiona. The New York State Democratic Convention is being held this weekend in Syracuse. The convention started today at the Carrier Theater. The state Democratic congressional delegation is officially endorsing Governor Kathy Hochul for re-election over her current Lieutenant Governor, Antonio Delgado.
Politicians in attendance include New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani and State Attorney General Letitia James. With Hochul announcing her running mate as Adrienne Adams, this year's New York Democratic ticket will be the first ever to include all female candidates. This is also the first time the city of Syracuse has hosted the event since 1982.
Well, from politics to airplanes, the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority hosted its State of the Airport this morning. Community members, local leaders, and aircraft experts gathered to share their annual report and insight into what people should expect from the industry this year.
Syracuse Hancock Airport had over a $1.2 billion economic impact on Central New York in 2025 alone, but our Caitlin Campbell was there to see how the airport evolved in the last year. Caitlin?
Syracuse State of the Airport, where officials say they saw just under 3 million passengers come through Syracuse Airport in 2025, breaking a 4-year streak since the COVID-19 pandemic. But they're saying that they're not worried.
So 2025, we came in a little bit under where we were in 2024, really because of the Southwest exiting our market. So we came in just over 2.8 million passengers in total. And so, yeah, it was overall a good year. We were actually really pleased with what we've seen in terms of the airlines backfilling the seats that Southwest vacated.
The country saw the longest government shutdown this fall for 43 days, but the airport says it was a learning experience filled with resilience from staff.
The FAA, the TSA, and our firefighters that I talked about that are also federalized, right? That they are very invested in our community, so they showed up to work every day. So what we really learned is how tight-knit this community really is to support each other so that we were able to keep our airport up and running.
They say they hope to improve technology and passenger experience as we kick off 2026, and we see more with Micron's expansion. But that's all I have for here. So I'll send it right back to you guys.
Caitlin, thank you. Well, New York has a new archbishop. At a ceremony in Manhattan earlier today, Ronald Hicks became the 11th archbishop of the state. He'll serve as the head of the Catholic Church in New York and will oversee all decisions and provide oversight to smaller churches in the area. Hicks says that he wants to create a church that is more, quote, universal, gathering, and engaging.
Governor Hochul announced today a new campaign to reduce impaired driving during the Super Bowl. The statewide effort is part of a national initiative to prevent dangerous driving, which is common around Super Bowl Sunday. Hochul's strategy includes increasing patrols and sobriety checkpoints, as well as increasing police watch for reckless driving. The campaign is already underway and will run through Super Bowl Sunday.
During an appearance in Syracuse yesterday, Governor Hochul announced she intends to sign New York's Medical Aid in Dying Act bill before tonight's deadline. The act allows terminally ill patients with less than 6 months to live to request life-ending medication. The bill was passed by New York lawmakers last year, but Hochul delayed signing off on it until more, quote, guardrails were put in place. Hochul's support for the bill comes after opposition from the New York State Catholic Conference and other groups.
The state of New York is attempting to shut down an Aldi grocery store in Salina after the store failed 4 consecutive safety inspections. In each case, the violations were labeled as critical deficiencies, which is the state's term for serious violations. The State Department of Agriculture and Markets filed a motion with the state Supreme Court seeking a preliminary injunction. If granted, the injunction would force the store to close until it passes 2 consecutive sanitary inspections.
Well, coming up, President Trump takes down a Truth Social post featuring a racist image of former President Barack Obama.
Plus, the Winter Olympics have officially begun. when News Live at 6 returns.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
If you see news happening on campus, Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. More than a decade after militants attacked an American compound in Benghazi, Libya, a new arrest has been made. The Justice Department took Zubair al-Bakash into custody earlier today. FBI Director Kash Patel called his arrival a, quote, transfer of custody.
Al-Bakash was accused of joining the group that killed 4 Americans. He is set to face charges including murder and attempted murder.
And United States representatives, including the head of the Military Central Command, Brad Cooper, met with Iranian officials for discussions on the future of Tehran's nuclear program.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi states that the talks must occur without tension and without threats, following a U.S. aircraft carrier shooting down an Iranian drone in the Arabian Sea.
President Trump has now deleted a Truth Social post that featured a clip of 2 primates with Barack and Michelle Obama's face imposed on them. The White House initially defended the post, but has removed it from Truth Social as of mid-Friday morning and blamed the post on a staffer after significant backlash from representatives across the country.
The 62-second clip appeared to be from a conservative video alleging tampering with voting machines in key battleground states from the 2020 presidential election. This is despite multiple courts finding no evidence of fraud affecting the results. The last few seconds of the clip then showed the Obamas smiling as primates in the jungle. An Obama spokesperson said the former president had no response on the post.
Well, to the latest in the Olympics, the opening ceremony in Milan just ended an hour ago. Though the ceremony is not the beginning of the Games, the athletes have been competing since Wednesday. Now, some events include curling, figure skating qualifiers, and more.
The Games continue tomorrow with more curling preliminaries, freestyle skiing, and women's ice hockey. To watch the Olympics, you can stream on Peacock or watch on NBC.
5-day weather forecast coming up, which includes Super Bowl Sunday. Stay tuned for that and more.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. yourlifeyourvoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. yourlifeyourvoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
We've got a cold weekend upon us here in Syracuse, with Saturday and Sunday having highs of just 5 and 7. We're in the single digits, and then we go down into the negatives with -4 and -5. That cold Sunday being Super Bowl Sunday, making it good weather to stay inside and watch the game. As for the rest of the week, it is going to warm up a little bit. We've got some warmer weather coming in on Wednesday with a high of 30, which compared to what we've got going on in the weekend, feels pretty warm, although there will still be some snow, so you're going to still need to wear all your thick layers for that. Speaking of Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to compare what the weather looks like here to where the game is in California. Looks a lot nicer there, I can tell you that, with a high of 66 and a low of 50. That sounds like a lovely day to me, although it is partly cloudy, so a little bit of sun peeking through, but that sounds lovely compared to the weather that we've got going on here. Like I said, it is a high of 7 and a low of -5. However, speaking of weather predictions, I've got a prediction for you from CitrusTV staff. I took a vote of who people think is going to win the game this Sunday. Now, I myself am a Bears fan, so I'm not really as invested. However, if you could guess by the red background, we did predict a Patriots win. I myself think I'll be rooting for the Seahawks. I don't know about you guys, Jackson, Elizabeth. What do you think?
Oh, Mia, I don't know. I'm a Commanders fan, so anything Super Bowl related is so far out of my vocabulary. I
am an Eagles fan, so I'm hoping, I guess, in this scenario for a Seahawks win.
Can they both lose? Well,
yes.
Anyways, the season of love is upon us, and many small businesses in Syracuse are embracing the Valentine's Day spirit.
Our Sophia McVig has more on how Margarita's Mexican Cantina opened its doors to these businesses.
Last night, Lunar Art Events hosted one of their many Valentine's Day small business pop-ups at Margarita's Mexican Cantina in downtown Syracuse. The coordinator of this event, Kendra Powell, tells us more about the impact that she hopes these events have on the Syracuse community.
Part of this is most small business owners, especially in the arts and crafts, are women. And when you support women, you support small businesses, you are putting that money back into the community. If you're buying off of Amazon, it might be cheap and quick, but you're getting quality at these markets, you're getting things that are made by hand, and you know that that money is going to support families and going back into, the community around you.
Kendra's work has a really positive impact on many small businesses here in Syracuse. I spoke to the owner of one of these small businesses, Kristen Klein, the owner of Adirondack Crystalery, about how her dad's love for crystals turned into a business.
My mom and my dad were super hippies. And my father always had like a quahog, a shell, when he was driving. He'd always worry at it while he was driving. He always had a pocket full of crystals. My dad passed away. And I didn't know what to do with myself. So I had his bag full of crystals, and I actually sent my husband downstairs into my dad's cellar and had him get some copper wire. And I just started wrapping the crystals, and it's kind of gone from there. It's all of what you believe in. If you think that something's going to bring joy to your life, it's going to bring joy to your life.
If you're interested in supporting other small businesses like this one, Kendra is hosting another Valentine's Day pop-up this Sunday at Art in the Atrium from 12 to 4 p.m. Sophia McVig, CitrusTV News.
Thank you, Sophia. May have to check that one out. But this year's Super Bowl advertisers are estimated to have paid about $8 million for their 30-second slots. Media critics say to be on the lookout for ads from Xfinity, Anthropic, and Ring.
But besides just the cost for airtime, this year's Super Bowl is expected to set new records in terms of creativity, conversation, and crowd engagement.
That is a lot of money for not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I feel like half the fun of the Super Bowl is being able to go, you're able to watch the game, and hopefully it is a good game. But after, in between the breaks, you're able to see all the new commercials, and they're usually pretty good. Do you have any ones that really stick out to you?
Ooh, I love from a few years ago the Amazon Alexa ad where Alexa lost her voice and they had all of these celebrities filling in, Rebel Wilson, Gordon Ramsay. It was just very unique and different, and that's what I love about these commercials.
That is a pretty good one. I think one for me has to be Puppy Monkey Baby, the Mountain Dew commercial. That one is just etched in my head, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but I think it's effective from Mountain Dew standpoint because they made me think about it. But Milo, I'm going to send it over to you. Maybe ask what your Super Bowl commercial that stands out to you is, but let's send it over to sports.
That's right, guys. You've already talked about so much sports on the hill, but the big game is coming up this Sunday. The Seahawks and the Patriots do battle. Plus, Syracuse women's basketball picked up a big win against Boston College last night. All that and more on sports coming up after this break.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is 28-1.
28-1.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
March Madness is creeping up on us, and Syracuse women's basketball continues to prove why it has a good chance at making the big dance. Welcome into sports, everyone. I'm Milo Hoffman. Last night, the Orange were in Chestnut Hill to battle Boston College, the worst team in the ACC. Let's take a look at how it all went down. The Eagles came in on a 16-game losing streak and are winless in the conference. That was Layla Filia nailing a three from the left wing. Then the freshman Uche Izoje gets the bucket to go off a nifty inbounds play. Top of the key, Sophie Burrows. She's been struggling this season from beyond the arc, but getting it to go as of late. She'll be vital as the season winds down. Uche Izoje, again, that's a pro-level move right there from the center of Syracuse. Then the quarter, Maddie Potts tried a three, but backed up by another setter on SU. Aurora Almon gets the bucket to go. SU's feeling it up by 30. Maddie Potts had 12 points off the bench and 4 threes for the Australian, and really a lot of people got involved for the Orange, but someone I didn't even mention in those set of highlights was Dominique Darius, a near triple-double, 10 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, and SU really pulled away in the second quarter. But SU's back in action this weekend when they take on Louisville, the number 6 team in the nation, and that is going to be a tough one. One of the best teams in the conference, and it's happening on Super Bowl Sunday, so stay tuned. It'll be Syracuse women's basketball, and then the big game following that, but I already talked about it. Louisville, one of the best teams in the country. 7 players average 8 points or more for the Cardinals. That game's happening on Super Bowl Sunday, like I've already said. And speaking of Super Bowl Sunday, it's about time to go. The big game happens in a couple of days. The Seahawks and the Patriots battle. Boy, am I excited for this one. 2 teams trying to get back to the top after missing the playoffs these last few years. Also a rematch of the 2015 Super Bowl when the Pats took down the Seahawks on the last-second Malcolm Butler interception. We're lucky now because we're joined by Adam Avon, who's in San Francisco covering it all. Adam, I'm sure you're having a blast, but let's break down a couple of the quarterbacks that are starting for these 2 teams. Tell me some more about this matchup.
Milo, I don't want to leave San Francisco, man. It's too sunny. It's too nice out here. I don't want to return to cold Syracuse. But look, it's our last day here covering the Super Bowl for the week. And I thought, why not talk about the 2 guys over my shoulder, Drake May and Sam Darnold, the 2 quarterbacks playing in this game. Let's start with Sam Darnold, who's been nothing short of unstoppable this postseason. He led a Seahawks offense that beat the 49ers, the home team here in San Fran, 41-6. And then they go on to beat the Rams, who were, I thought, the best team all season, and now they're playing in the Super Bowl. I expect a really nice day from Sam Darnold come Sunday in Super Bowl 60. On the flip side, for our Bills fans that live in Syracuse, you might not want to hear me say this, but Drake May happens to be pretty good at football too. The issue is defense wins championships, and I'm not so sure that Drake May is going to have the easiest of days against the Seahawks defense that has been nothing short of amazing all season long, leading to a 14-win season and being the 1 seed in the NFC. Certainly these 2 teams facing off in Super Bowl 60 have 2 great quarterbacks behind them, but I do think the Seahawks are going to come away with this victory, and Sam Darnold's career resurgence will culminate at the end of the season in Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. Milo, back to you, my friend.
Adam, oh boy, I am jealous of you out in San Francisco. We talked about it a lot. The quarterback battle in this one is one to really keep an eye on. Obviously, Sam Darnold and Drake May, maybe not expecting to be in the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, but here they are. And Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the Patriots, won Coach of the Year last night. He's now a 2-time Coach of the Year recipient. Going to be a fun one, but I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Milo, thanks so much. Well, coming after the break, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Don't go anywhere.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for you.
With the end of CSGO and the release of Counter-Strike 2.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for your easy consumption.
Kicking off the weekend, we are going into the single digits. It is going to be so cold tomorrow morning. As you can see, 6 degrees, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. It is a good morning to just stay inside, wrap yourself up in a nice warm blanket, maybe watch some of the Olympics, which will be going on. There will be some light snow. Like I said, very cold.
Well, Mia, thank you. Yeah, I'd definitely rather be in Italy this time of year than Syracuse. I'm a little jealous of all of our friends who have gone abroad this semester. I'm sure they're living it up. I'm sure it's very nice. But as Mia just said, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, the Winter Olympics have begun. Tomorrow will begin with curling, followed by other events like alpine skiing and ice hockey. So, Elizabeth, what sport are you most looking forward to?
Definitely the figure skating. I just think it's so majestic to see what they come up with. It's a whole routine.
It really is. I'm more of a Summer Olympics guy, but I do really like figure skating. It is always really fun to watch. But that is Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Friday.
Don't forget you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Elizabeth Gottlieb.
And I'm Jackson Breslin. Have a great night, Syracuse.